All right, so it's day 2, and this morning I had to get up. I probably don't talk about this enough, but I do spend, you know, the question I get a lot of times when people either reach out or email to me is that, do you still do wealth management? And I can't talk about a lot of things because of compliance and being, you know, staying out of trouble with oversharing, and so I have to make sure that I don't overshare or talk too much about that. But you know, pretty much every morning I get up and I'm either calling somebody or doing something or transferring something or buying or selling something. So I guess I would probably spend 50% of my time, maybe a little less than that, on wealth management, but I'm pretty good at it. So I've been doing it for a long time, and most clients just kind of let me do my thing. So anyway, I thought I'd mention that's what I've been up since 4:30 this morning, and so I've been, you know, just sort of digging in, getting all that squared away so I can go and just enjoy the day. So day 2, I'm hoping to I'm going to be meeting with Sonic Tools. That won't be on camera. Hopefully I'm going to go seek out. I'm going to get Corey from CarPro to give us an update on some of the new stuff. I want to go talk to Prevost, Scan Grip, and I'm sure 100 other places. So anyway, I'm going to head over there, and I'll come back to you with the first product. Gosh, I'm fairly certain these are going to be like the tool of choice. Just awesome. I don't know why. It's just the design appeals to me. Really works. All right, so Omar's here, gonna give us an update. I have my heart set on having every Chicago pneumatic tool known to man, and so he's gonna tell us about their compact line versus the regular. You know, they have, like, how many darn air tools do you guys have?
We have about 1,000 SKUs.
Oh shit.
So, but actually, with some of these SKUs, when we discontinue some of our tools or we upgrade them,
yeah,
we keep the SKU.
Gotcha.
But we upgrade the tool and the model numbers. Now here's our ultra compact tools. We ran a campaign I think last year called Size Matters, and
I saw that. Yeah.
It features our CP7721 butterfly.
That's freaking cool.
And here is the original Stubby. This was our top seller from a year ago.
So what would this break? Like you're not going to break lugs with that, right? Your lug nuts. This would be for nuts and bolts. Like we're mainly going to be doing car stuff, right?
Yes. That's why this is the vehicle service line of tools. Gotcha. And here is the new and improved version of this stuff.
Dang, this thing's so slick, man. So awesome.
And as you can see here, we improved the grip, the ergonomics.
And then you have a whole line of right angle versions. This obviously has a little more torque, right?
Yes. Yes, it does.
And so how do these things, how do I use it? Like, how does this work? How do I control torque, and like, how do you just feather the trigger? I mean, how do I?
Well, actually, they all max out depending on what you need. Like, say if you need 80 foot-pounds, then, you know, it's all about choosing the right tool for the right job.
Gotcha. Okay.
So if you pick the right tool, if you only need, let's see here, 75 foot-pounds, so, or you need 100 foot-pounds, you would select the correct tool, and that way you won't over-torque or snap or cause any damage to your application.
So there's an ultra compact, and then is there a compact?
Well, actually, all of our tools are considered compact. So just by the size. The only time that you would transcend is when you get to
like a big 2-inch or 1-inch, or
yes,
yeah,
for trucks and heavy vehicles.
Gotcha.
And as you can see, these are new lines of composite housing drills.
So these you would use to tap out something, or
and as you
drill a hole in something.
And as you saw on the previous kiosk, this is the new and improved version with composite housing.
Gotcha. That's sick.
Which is actually lighter than the predecessor.
And same thing. I mean, you guys make all different speeds, different Like this one would be for using as a screw gun, right?
Yes.
Or versus a drill.
That is correct. And this right here is our new headlight kit repair.
Yeah, DA sander.
Well,
that's nice. That's cool. Is cordless a new thing for CP, or is this
No, actually we have been doing cordless for a number of years now. We've just been doing some tweaking, trying to get it right, and now we are releasing, this right here is the CP8848.
Right.
And in Q4, in second half of December, we'll be releasing the CP8849 model of this.
Okay.
Which I have on the new kiosk.
So this would be for breaking lug nuts, things
Yes,
like that. Yeah. And then you have the smaller, like the 1/4 inch torque.
Yeah, and like I said, and this is for your everyday use. You can actually use those around the house.
Yeah, I've been using Milwaukee stuff. I have all of these.
We have to change them.
I'm down. I'm down with that. So here's the newest torque.
Yes, this is.
It's actually considerably lighter than the Milwaukee that I have. But I mean, I don't know that I need a 1 inch, but having all of these like various, I don't know, it's just like I know I'm crazy, but it's like a dream of mine. You know, imagine you had your garage and you had all the drawers and it's all lined up where you have
every tool for every application.
Yeah, I mean that's what every nerd dad wants to have. You know,
Yeah.
You know, right angle ratchets and cut off wheels and all that stuff. But for whatever reason, I mean, you can do it with electric, but compressed air just to me seems so much more fun.
Yes. And now this also too is a new release.
Now, is there a single line of electrics, or like is there a high end and a low end, or is there just one line?
It's just one line. We try to price all our product at a certain price point where we're competitive with everybody. So there's no high, no low. It's just one line.
Gotcha.
Awesome tool.
Shoot, see, like something like this, I don't think I need one of those. But
this is the new CP7783-6. It's actually going to take the place of our CP7780, which was a fan favorite.
And you would use this for what, like breaking up big rigs, lugs, or something like that?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I don't need that. I'm driving around in Porsches, not.
Unless you have a school bus, and if you have a school bus in the backyard.
I do not. Yeah. So here's the original. These still available? Do you still buy these, or?
Yes, because some people still prefer the classics, even though they may be heavier and pricier. Because just the cost to make these, to still produce them. But because they were such good quality, some of our consumers prefer the classics.
Gotcha. So these are more. They have more stout internals. I mean, is that why they're more expensive, or?
Yeah, and just some of the parts.
Gotcha.
And like I said, in the steel housing, they're more robust.
Gotcha.
But the performance is still there, and some people love it.
Gotcha.
And you can identify by the classic silver look.
Sure, I like that. I like that too. I don't really want to use any of these. I just want to look at them. And I want to have them, hook them up, Yeah. I may use them occasionally. And then you have full line of grinders, cutters. And if you have 1,000 different tools, I mean, this is a small fraction of what you actually have.
Yeah, this is the material removal side.
So what would you suggest? So where do I even get started with figuring out what tools? Like, what do you guys suggest people do when they're attempting to build out a grouping of tools? Like, let's say you're a mechanic or something. Like, how do you know what to buy? Like, where do you start?
First, you want to look at the size of your shop. If you're your weekend warrior and a DIYer, then you probably want to start small. You wouldn't go out and get a super polisher, because if you don't have air, then you wouldn't necessarily need something this robust. Like, this is for your dealerships. You're doing 50 60 cars a day.
Right.
So it depends on the individual. But once you decide what applications you have, what kind of garage you're doing, then that's when you will start to build out your tools.
Right. Gotcha.
Like for these guys right here, these are for your smaller grinding and material removal. This would be for let's say an assembly line. You wouldn't want to do that.
Sure, gotcha. Yeah,
And this is just
all
some
kinds
more
of specialty stuff.
Yes.
Yeah, see, like this is awesome. I want this. I know that.
Yeah, this is actually a really nice tool.
Yeah. But again, the super compact version is going to be helpful when you're getting in there, like trying to get the header bolt off or something like that.
Exactly.
Oh, that torque wrench is awesome too. I just love the fit and finish of all this stuff, man. That's what appeals to me.
I think the black and red is you can't go wrong.
Yeah. So I definitely want. So I need to start doing some research, start digging into, and hopefully with some access to the CP guys that I can start to really learn about, you know, what each product does and which ones fit, which ones don't. Anyway, I'm excited about that. So I've been sitting here geeking out about how do we pronounce this again? Prevost. Prevost in the US. Yeah, but I don't accept that. I want to call it what it's called, Prevost, because it's French, right?
Yeah.
And so, shoot. Yeah, but I think we can change. I think people in general like to pronounce it properly if they have the choice. And so we're looking at all the different hoses. You know, there's DRF, there's the DRFB, which is the slow retraction, and I'm yelling at them. Yeah, safety retraction. I'm yelling at them because I hate this hose. But you know, because then they have the rubber hose option, and we're also talking about maybe putting the. I'll show you guys in a minute, but we'll put the Stowflex hose inside of it. And check out how cool this thing is. See, I want the DMO to do that. Can't have it all. So what we'll probably end up doing is have the DRFB as an option, and then the higher end, the open reel. We were talking about, you know, some of the pros and cons of the serviceability of this hose. This reel is much better. And then of course this is a rubber hose versus this is a urethane hose, right? And then maybe even the option of putting like their Airca, the US sourced Airca hose inside of here, or even possibly the Stowflex, which is the green hose, which I've shown on video or in the past. But then the key to this stuff is the S1 connection on the end, which is fantastic. And then I'm going to adopt the Euro standard. You know, if you didn't know this, there are actually there's like 5 or 6 different versions. So you have green, yellow, red, blue, and these aren't colors just for color. They're actual different fitting sizes. But see, the magic of the S1 connection is that slow release, so that it doesn't blow off and hit you in the nuts, right?
Everything fits in.
Yeah, so the plugs are different. But the high flow, you have less drop, so we lose less air per connection. So the high flow connection has less air loss or less parasitic loss per connection. So I'm going to adopt the green standard, Euro standard, Euro high flow standard. But like all the fittings, all these connections, these are all aluminum. So I'm gonna be talking about and doing this in my garage.
Going to Apex tomorrow.
But I'm gonna be doing all the Prevost piping. Let me sneak behind you guys here. So you know the setup is gonna look a lot like this. Where I'm gonna do 1-inch piping throughout the garage. You have tapping flanges, you have all the connection flanges, T flanges, you have 45 flangers, you have threaded versions to go into their alto regulators. So I'm going to do all 1/2-inch main piping, 3/4-inch drops, and then we'll do, I'm going to be doing the Alto 3, which is the 1/2-inch filter regulator, and you can put a pressure gauge right on the front. Mine won't be 2-stage, it'll be single stage. And then we'll do some of the Euro standard manifolds on the wall, the dual manifolds. But I'm so excited about this stuff, doing all of their fittings. So again, adopting the Euro standard. This is the ISO 6 standard. versus TrueFlate, which is California standard. But it's as simple as, if we adopt this, it's as simple as changing out all the plugs. So simply changing the plugs on the end of all your tools and you're good to go. We'll also likely be doing the Prevost hose reel, but I'm going to create packages for all of this stuff and share the process. Like one of the things I learned, airflow goes in one direction, but these are all modular, so I could flip it around and mount it the opposite direction if I needed the airflow to go this way or that way. Because I was working on designing that, and I needed the flow to go that way instead of this way. And so, just because of where I wanted the piping to go. And then here's the piping options. All aluminum, just amazing. Such cool stuff. So I'm going to be really, really working on this here the next month or two, as I'm setting up the packages. They have their own, their own tool for tightening. They also even sell packaging or products for to put this all together. To cut and tap. To tap the airlines. So these are all things that I'm going to share the process. Do my part to change the world. So anyway, I'm super excited about this too. This stuff is super interesting. This is Everything Impact out of Wisconsin.
Green Pneumatic is the company.
Oh, okay. And this is the brand. Everything Impact is the brand for this stuff.
Yeah, or GP is the brand.
Green Pneumatic, yeah.
Everything Impact is.
It's pretty interesting. This stuff looks cool. I like the finished version. I'm assuming this is an upgrade, like this is an upgraded cost.
Yeah, this is what we call a duo socket. So it's an impact socket made to the dimensions of a chrome socket. So
okay.
You can essentially use it with a ratchet, use it on an air tool, cordless tool. One socket for both purposes.
That's pretty sweet. And then you have your traditional, all different sizes, 1 inch, 3/4, half, 3/8.
Half, 3-inch, 1/4 inch.
Oh, they even have quarter.
Go up to 2.5 inch drive, 1.5 inches.
Gotcha. Okay, cool. So we have all this different. Is that a unique thing in that actual impact ratchet? Or is that just match? So is that geared a little differently than like a regular ratchet?
No, it's the same as a regular ratchet.
I gotcha. It's just finished in the same.
Right.
So do these have a different shear or different break point than like a traditional?
They would, yes. They're a thin wall impact socket is essentially what they're called.
Gotcha. But for an auto mechanic or something, it's going to be sufficient.
Or do-it-yourselfer,
yeah.
That's essentially the set that you want. I mean, I can show you the difference here between the two. You can see the difference in thickness.
Oh yeah. Yeah, pretty significant. But for what I'm going to be doing, breaking header bolts on my Porsche, this is what you need.
This is what you're going to want.
There's the really expensive lighting solution that doesn't really work for me. I wonder how these things are interesting. They're like $500. It's a new product.
That also helps out a lot.
Gosh, I think the only place I like being better than the detailing area is the tool area. It's awesome. German made.
Can I help you with something?
Drawer. We have a lifetime warranty on the drawer system.
Right. Russo. And then do you have, I guess you're a competitor of Lista, right?
Yeah.
Do you guys have a lot of different organization solutions, drawer organization solutions, like different separators and stuff?
Oh yeah. I'm sure there's steel partitions and dividers like this. We also offer plastic bin cups in 3 different sizes that you can use for real small parts. And we have pre-configured units, similar to this here, or you can design it the way you want.
Gotcha. Really nice.
We have another setup here on the other side. I don't know if you saw it in red and white. So one of the big differences is these overhead cabinets have the sliding doors, where the one on the other side had the flipper door cabinet.
These would all be floor mounted, not wall mounted?
Yes, they're all floor mounted. We have the leveling glides on the bottom, so if the floor is a little bit off, you can level it out.
Right.
Okay.
They have pre-cutouts for wiring.
You know, we have computer cabinets, where that would come in handy for the wiring and all that.
Wow, that's pretty fantastic. And then you have the Moduline stuff. I don't know, these are great. All aluminum. I just don't think the cost is necessary for what we're doing. I think that there are better options. Although these are, you know, so nice looking, and aluminum super cool. I think I'd rather have a steel cabinet. So Doug from Drivers Club was talking to me about Nussbaum. They're actually German made. Oh man, that scissor lift is fantastic. Something like that. This might be my lift company. That thing is fantastic. Should talk to Bob about doing Nussbaum lift. So, you know, that scissor lift overcomes some of the disadvantages to it. You know, and this is what I talk about often, is that, you know, people say, well, a scissor lift, you can't do any work. Well, I don't understand what work can you not do here? I mean, yeah, you can't get over to the rocker area, but I mean, I'm 6'2", I'm standing here. Oh, this is it. This is great. And so the beauty of a scissor lift, instead of a 2-post, I can drive up onto it. I don't have to attempt to get the feet in the right spot. I drive right up onto it, and then I can get all around it. And yeah, you do lack a little bit of undercarriage space, but in general, a scissor lift to me is for a DIY or a detailer, is a superior option. Dang, these are stout. That's made in the USA. I thought they were German made. That's amazing. So here's the Nussbaum lift. Is this hydraulic? Absolutely. There's the hydraulic lines running. Yep. This 220.
This one is 220, correct?
Yeah. So you would run a 30 amp 220 line and you'd be good to go?
I'm going to have an engineer go over and chat with you.
Okay. Oh man. And then what I'm going to do, you cut a hole in your floor and you recess this perfectly. That's the magic.
Ground lift. I don't think they make it anymore.
The issue with in-ground in your own personal garage is code. Yeah. Check this thing out, man. Doug was right. So smooth, so quiet. I don't even think they have this thing bolted to the ground. I think it's just sitting there.
But anyway,
it's fantastic. Absolutely fantastic.
Hear it?
Yeah.
The motor actually runs in the hydraulic fluid.
Oh, so it's in the tank.
It's an oil immersed motor.
Gotcha.
And we're just getting ready to come out with go back to a 7-liter motor pump warranty because they don't go back.
Yeah.
And the same. That's why that's so quiet.
Yeah, I couldn't. It made zero noise. It's so awesome. There's the S-Tech guys, and then G-Technic. I haven't used any of this stuff. I know lots of people love it. Interesting. This actually looks pretty interesting. stuff going down. These look really interesting. Super high quality.
We do for the 3-inch.
Over here at Optimum. Checking out some of their booth is super cool. Obviously we're using, you know, some of the products regularly. There's open the new line, the new branding, it's great. I gotta get some of this stuff. For those of you guys wondering, that's Dr. G. So Dr. G, are you allowed to be on video, or are you like a secret anomaly? So Dr. G is the scientist. Camera. He's the scientist. He makes all of the Optimum stuff that we're using. So he was gracious enough to meet with me when I was there and teach me all the formulas. So I'm gonna replicate them and steal it all, sell it on the black market.
We share it with everybody, so no worries. It's not stealing.
We weren't allowed in his lab. I was disappointed. Even I wasn't allowed in there. Nobody's allowed in there.
I'm not even allowed in there.
I know this guy. Corey's making some videos. He's a little confused though. He's in the Shoal Concepts booth. But we won't hold that against him. These guys make cool stuff. I shouldn't make any videos about buckets. We know what happens when I make videos about buckets. The new grit guard design where they have the hoops for the washboard that I don't use.
Worst part is cutting the old ends off.
Grit guard stuff. It's Mike Phillips just hanging out, doing his thing with the new wireless flex. And then Zern is here. It's funny, no Jeskar here. This is a product that a lot of people have been telling me I need to try. These guys are really, this stuff is really good.
Really? Never even heard of it.
Angel Wax, so cool. IGL, I don't really have any experience with them, but I know lots of dealers, or lots of guys in the group anyway, are always talking about it. Yeah. I've decided to go narrow and deep. I'm going all in. Sunjoe only. Sunjoe or bust. I'm sure you guys would love to hear that. Yeah, so two different color temps?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also you can dimmer it in many steps compared to just two like the older one.
Right.
So now we have 100% will tell you that this will run for 1 hour. And if you dimmer it, 50% is 2 hours.
Yep.
And at fully charged on 10%, this will run for 14 hours.
Right.
And it's still
still a pretty significant amount of light, right?
On both the cable and battery also.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so there's just a smaller and a larger version?
Yeah, this is just cable, but 5,000 lumens, and this is 2,500.
Gotcha. Okay.
But can do both. And one pretty practical difference is that here we have a quick coupling, so now we can just take it off really fast. The older type was a screw type, so you spend some time.
Yep. Any changes in the tripods or the movable stands or anything? Are they the same?
We added the wheel stands. That is the most recent one.
Okay. Yeah, they were just coming out with that last year, I think.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and then they have the tripod.
Yeah. So.
And then, what's the difference between the? Yeah.
You see here?
Yeah.
The two different LEDs.
Are they different color temps?
Yeah.
So you would theoretically want both?
Well, here you have. This is a cool light. 6,500 Kelvin.
Yep.
For the D65 color match standard as daylight.
Right.
And if I hold in the button, it changes. So both sunlight and daylight in one unit.
Right.
And the older...
These are single color cam?
Yeah.
Okay.
400 lumens maximum.
Yep.
This is 500 lumens.
Okay,
so
gotcha.
More light also. And they are still, sturdy.
Yeah.
And you can just... still IP67, so waterproof. You can take your transfer pressure washer and point it at it, and it won't harm it. So.
Oh, gotcha. Awesome. The Prevost system, just the fittings and all of this stuff is like, it's not nearly as nice as the Prevost stuff that I'm going to be doing. All the valves and everything are like next level, and these connections, it's every part and piece of the Prevost is so much better. Now that's pretty darn cool. If you had a giant warehouse, like let's say if I realized the dream of having like a 50,000 square foot building, and you just put this in there, you just roll it around wherever the heck you need it. I think these things are like 30, 35 or 40,000 bucks.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool. So I don't know, man. I keep looking at all these. I'm chasing all of these other cabinets, right? So I'm chasing these ones I've shown in the video earlier, Halsey or Hasey or the I can't even remember some of the names, but I keep coming back to this. I don't know why. This is like my Porsche, right? You can get a faster car or maybe even a better car, but this is my. I don't know. They're just amazing.
The best interior drawer we're looking at there, but
our drawers won't look like this.
this is a mobile cabinet, so it's got a lock in, lock out on it.
440-pound Austrian drawer glides, right? Or do we not publish that they're made in Austria?
We don't publish that.
Right, they are. It's a culture slide.
Yeah, but it's a culture slide.
Yeah. Yep. And then I can literally stand in here and jump up and down.
They had me standing in a drawer yesterday, but everybody walked by and made fun of me, so I decided to get out.
Sure. So anyway, I don't know. I keep looking at all these other cabinets, and I keep coming back to this stuff. It's just freaking awesome. And there's a bigger array, bigger setup. We have the full drawers. Simple, highly engineered. Oh yeah, there's his footprints right there. Proof. So this is big here with Lista, and that the new configurator or new software that they'll be improving daily will help us. Because one of the issues with having such modular capability is being able to figure out how to put it together, and having too many options at times can be daunting. And so one of the things I'm going to spend a lot of time on is digging through the details to be able to take and figure out what's available and how to put it together, and then what does it cost.
So eventually when you start sanding, okay? So right here, Jason, you want to tell them what's going on? Because I know this is our design, but it comes from the man himself.
So here, those of you guys who know wet sanding,
all right,
you'll recognize this name here.
So the idea was to give a small enough block to do an isolated scratch, or in the paint shop, a dirt nib, a piece of trash, something like that, maybe a run. So we have same size. One is a firm foam, one is a softer foam. Okay. One's a beveled side, and it's beveled for a certain reason. So if we want to round the edge and make more of a round, or actually create a profile, that taper's already kind of set us up for a good profile. So,
so you have a little more control.
Yeah, we can profile it for any shape or curve. And then you finish sand with a softer foam like that, which also has the same profile, flat edge on one side. So it's good for getting on edges and sanding. Basically just wrap it around.
Yeah, every time you watch
So this is really good for edging.
Yeah.
Getting in the tight areas.
Because I noticed that, like my GT3 bumper, my rear bumper was repainted, and the peel was way off, and so I was able to easily dial in the flat surface, but then the edges were all janky still. It was like almost like I completely missed it.
And this will help you control that. So we designed this for the detailers, for the body shop guys, to give them confidence. So when their skills get at a higher level, they go to the big block.
So you would use this as you're starting out to learn to control pressures and things?
Yeah, or if we're doing Pebble Beach car, Riddler car, something high end where we have to sand an engine or an intake manifold or something really minute.
Right.
We can customize these with a sander and a grinder and just make different shapes and sizes.
That's pretty sick.
So it's kind of a build-a-block type
but
setup.
You're not going to use that for like the whole car.
He's using it on a full bumper before.
Yeah, I've used it on a full bumper before, but mainly for spot sanding, getting out rids, hence the name Case Dynamics Rid Sticks.
Yeah.
To get out those random isolated deeper scratches that when you're looking to go to that next level and have that full correction, to be able to get that one pesky scratch that's just always still left on that you can't just buff out, that you need a little sanding.
Right.
Take care of it.
That's pretty sick.
We call those our money makers.
So what block, like if you were doing a whole hood?
Whole hood, what size?
Yeah, are you using like McGuire's blocks or something like that? Or do you make all your own stuff?
We make and manufacture.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, I'm excited for you to teach me how to wet sand. Don't go watch my wet sanding video. Like I didn't have any of the tools. I'm using the big old 3M block on the thing.
I already have. It's all good. It's all good.
Shoot! Don't hold that against me. I disclaimed that video from the beginning. Say, look, I don't have the right stuff. I just want to fix this a little bit. So
we won't hold you to it.
We want to make me an expert.
Well, we'll try.
Come on.
0 to hero.
Come on. I have it in me.
It's crash course.
It's in me. All right. Cool.
I know you got it in you.
All right, Corey. What do we got? We got some new stuff.
How you doing? Yeah, we got a few new things from CarPro. We have the Gliss, and the Gliss there's two things you can do with the Gliss. Number one, you could apply this directly to paint as if it was a primary coating. So polish, prep, the usual, eraser, wipe down, and then coat. And it's a very easy, an obvious, I should say, application. So generally with a lot of coatings, it's difficult for somebody that's never done them before. It's difficult for them to know when to wipe off. And the cool thing about Gliss is it does flash fast, so they need to understand that, but it'll flash and it'll turn dry. It'll turn to a white, just like a white residue will be left over within a minute or so. And when you go to wipe, you'll feel it. It'll look dry and you'll feel it, a little bit of bite, but it'll wipe off clean. It won't act sticky, it won't do any of that. So it's super easy to use, number one. You do need good lighting.
So this goes on top of a coating, or this is the coating?
So that's one way you can use it, is as the only coating. It's not going to last as long. It's not a full-fledged, it's not like C-Quartz or C-Quartz UK. It's not a full-fledged hardcore ceramic coating. It's designed as a top coat, as you were suspecting. So you can put it on, you can do your C-Quartz UK, which is a very high SiO2 content, to increase the water spot resistance on UK. Generally right now we use Reload, but the slickness from Reload and some of that's not going to last as long as this will. So instead of Reload, we could top it with Gliss, and then the Gliss is going to, as the top coat, the Gliss is going to make it feel slick instead of tacky. The slickness is going to last longer than Reload will, and then it's also going to help with water spots.
So these bottles are monster. Is that because you're using more product?
That's part of it. It flashes so fast, you tend to use more, but it's actually, in all honesty, I said the exact same thing, and it's going to take me a little while to win the battle. But the 50 mil is, it doesn't make sense to me either, but it is the only option. I already told them, hey, you need a 30 mil size, but you have to fight that battle a few times.
And so I put this on what? Once every 6 months?
Yeah, you can put it, if you're using it as a top coat, you don't necessarily need to put it on that often. You can put it on once a year. If the vehicle is used and not really taken good care of, then I'd say, yeah, why not put it on once every 6 months? But the general purpose is to put it on, after the application of the C-Quartz, rather than waiting and
you're doing it like a normal coating with a block and a suede?
Exactly, yeah, we can do a demo if you want to. I can do it.
Yeah, okay, we'll do that.
But yeah, generally the idea is you put the C-Quartz or the C-Quartz UK on, and then you can come back and put a top coat of this on an hour later.
Okay.
And then that's when you apply it. And after that, then I would say just maintain it with reset and reload. Maintain it with our usual maintenance product.
Gotcha. Okay. Okay. Cool. So what's the story on this bug out business? Funny, I just made a darn video about I was maintaining the TiO2 on the Raptor. And then I was talking about how to make sure you don't jack up the darn finish because I had bugs all over the front of it. And so my procedure was wash it, get whatever I could off of just a normal, zero gravity swipe, rinse it, then come back with a bug sponge and then work it. So would this be helpful in that scenario? Is that the idea?
Yeah, funny real quick story, although I'm a bit long-winded, I'll try to keep it a quick story. So funny thing, when CarPro told me towards the end of last year, they said, hey, we think bug out is an idea. Avi said, hey, I think bug out is a good idea.
Right.
We didn't have the name yet. I came out with that because I like the zombie thing. But when he said a bug remover, I said, that's silly. We have Echo. Echo will work great to remove bugs. And not until I did, I actually used the I think it was the beta 2 version, was I a big believer in it. Because the Echo, I said, this is great. And Echo does work, for fresh bugs. But if they're baked on 2 weeks old, like the ones that we're talking about now, where you have to get the bug scrubber out, it makes a huge difference. And the pH it's not excessive, so it's like pH 10 point somewhere. It's
just slightly alkaline, right?
Alkaline, but if you're using it on a nano sealant, like a Reload or Hydro 2 or any of the ceramic coatings, perfectly safe. Perfectly safe on PPF and glass and all of those things, as long as you use it, within reason, not in the middle of the sun and leaving it on and stuff like that.
Gotcha. Okay.
But yeah, you just spray it on. You literally just leave it there for a minute or two, and you'll actually watch a lot of the bugs. They'll literally start melting, like the insides will start melting out. Some of them, some of them won't come off, or if you, some of them melt off. But when you go to wipe it, they just come right off. Or a pressure washer just takes it, just. So
real.
Yeah, we've had, and every person that we sent this to, Joe, OC Detailing, Jeff Cavallo, all guys that I trust. Like they're not gonna lie to me. They'll be like, sorry, I'm not gonna use it.
Right.
They're honest. They'll tell me what they really think, just like you would. And so
yeah, because my initial reaction is I don't need that.
Yeah, and some people won't. But if they leave the bugs on too long, if they test it, I'm pretty sure that it's going to be really big, a lot bigger than I expected it to be when I first heard the concept. I had the same reaction as you.
Shoot.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll give you some samples to try.
I guess I gotta try it. Yeah.
I'll bring you some sample bags to take home.
And then you have a new. Is this a new polish?
Yes, the new compound, clear cut, rapid cut compound. So the idea with clear cut was, in the past we had Fixer. Originally when CarPro first started, we had one compound called Fixer. Never my favorite compound. It's kind of a jack of all trades. Does a lot of really cool things, but nothing, it's not going to give you the cut you need if you were, really serious about getting rid of stuff like that.
Right.
So then we came out with the CarPro Reflect, which is a phenomenal finishing polish. I always love that. That would be, that's the new label actually. Same product, new label on the Reflect. The Fixer, the whole compound, we revamped the labels, but the only new product is the clear cut.
Right.
So the clear cut, we said we need something fast. We need something that all of the pros that we work with, and anybody that gets some really serious damage done to a car, they can come in and save time basically. Because that's the idea. You want to get the finish to perfection as fast as you can without compromise. So for cars that need some serious cut, that's what the rapid compound is for. Okay, see today. A couple interesting things about it. Generally with compounds, you will start with you'll spread it around and you'll start with you'll start with a little you'll spread it around and then you'll cut with the heavy pressure and then you'll finish down with a lighter pressure. And this compound is interesting in how it works on most paints. You'll find that you just kind of work it at first, and what you'll find is at first it doesn't seem like it's doing anything, but just go a couple passes. You don't have to start pressing down. Just let it work, let it do its thing, let it start breaking into what it's going to break into, and then you actually finish down as opposite. You'll actually finish down with more pressure. So you start giving it a little weight on it, and then it'll just all of a sudden you can see right through the polish by this point, and you'll see the scratches just start disappearing on that third, fourth pass, and then you can just keep finishing down with the heavy pressure to finish down. Okay, it's not meant to finish down as a one step. if you run into a Volkswagen paint, really hard paint, you might be shocked. The flash pad, and then you will, on some paints, you will run into a surprise and it'll finish down great. But that's not the idea.
Right.
The idea is for two-step if you're going to use clear coat.
Gotcha. So show me this gliss and how this works.
Okay,
how do we put that on? Yeah, this is uncorrected, of course. Right. Come on, Corey. Don't get all neurotic on me here. Just do it.
I can't do it, Matt.
I just need to see how it works.
Obviously, we would polish this out first, but we're just going to show you how it applies, like you said. So I'm just wiping it down with a little eraser to help out a little bit the application. So normally I might put like 2 stripes on there.
Yep.
But because it flashes so fast, I like to load it up even a little bit more. Because you're going to see how, hopefully you'll be able to get the light. It's wet right now, but you're going to see how fast it starts.
It's a lot thicker, huh?
Yeah. Now,
I'll take the flash.
It's very fast. Within about 30 seconds here, you'll see it start looking dry. Now, the cool thing about it is it's going to be very obviously dry.
Like if you're working on a fender in a car, do you have to switch out these every like so much? These right here, applicators?
No, not on the
whole car with that?
Not on this one. Yeah. All right, let me grab my wipe-off towel. And
yeah, I can see it drying.
Yeah, you see it?
Yeah.
Cool.
So it flashes fast. So it flashes fast. Now at this point, we could wipe it off. We're gonna feel a bite when when I go to push in, you can see that it's grabbing it. But at this point, we could wait another minute. We have a small window here where it's not gonna be a problem. The cool thing though, is that number 1, it's obviously ready to wipe off. And number 2, when it does wipe off, it comes off clean. So it's going to be nice for guys that want kind of just enter the coating,
it's a little easier to manage.
Exactly, yeah, they'll know exactly what to deal with. They won't ask, well, how long do I wait? And I won't say, well, it's like this, but they'll be able to see it. So when it turns dry, wipe it off. It's that simple. So that was something we thought would be important.
I understand, yeah.
To serve 2 markets.
These would be your wax guys that are entering.
Yeah, it serves 2 purposes. That's one for them, and then the other for guys that are doing the ceramic coatings and want to improve all of the properties that we talked about. So they can put it on top of that. And then this is about when maybe another 30 seconds from now, it would have still wiped off super easy. And then a minute after that, it might have started to get more difficult on a sensitive bit. If you did leave it on, you missed a high spot, you didn't have the right kind of lighting, we could just take a little more of this.
Yep.
Up to 10, 20 minutes later, we
reactivate it.
Exactly. Wipe it right back off.
So, what is this? Is this silicon dioxide?
It's a hybrid. So there is but there's also a lot of fluorine. And, it's I believe KT referred to it as a fluorine hybrid.
But this works with our TiO2, our SiO2, right? So Secrets UK, TiO, all the coatings.
Exactly. Yeah, you nailed it.
And then bonds with Hydro 2 or a Reload or any of the other.
Reload on top of it. Right. You could put Hydro 2. I wouldn't use the Hydro 2 on it for at least a week.
Right.
Because the Hydro 2 has something in it that could damage the. You want to let this fully cure. To the point that you would wash this. At that point, you could reset or you could Hydro 2 it as well.
Cool.
Yeah,
awesome.
But, Reload, Hydro 2, all those things are perfectly safe on it once it's cured.
Awesome.
One thing I didn't probably mention enough of, the hydrophobics on this. So we've tested it on top of Seacourse UK, on top of Seacourse. Even as good as they are with the hydrophobics, it does increase it. So side by side, if you put a tape line, you'll see this will make it be water even better than as they do it.
We all know that's important, right?
Yes.
We want to see those bubbles.
Everybody has to see the bubbles. That's right.
Thanks, Corey.
Yeah, thank you, Matt.